Margaret Russo sat quietly in her favorite spot in the concert hall, a place she had shared with her husband for many years. Now, at 68, she felt the weight of his absence more than ever. The vibrant melodies that once filled their evenings together now echoed with a sense of loss and longing. Her heart ached as she recalled the laughter they shared, the way he would squeeze her hand when he was excited about a song, and how they would sway together under the soft lights. As she looked at the stage, memories rushed back, his smile during their annual concert ritual, how he would hum along to every tune. This year was different. With each note from the orchestra, Margaret felt both joy and sorrow mingling together. It was as if the music was a bridge to her past, taking her back to happier times even as it reminded her of what she had lost. The opening notes of All the Way began to play, and Margaret's eyes filled with tears. Here she was, surrounded by strangers yet feeling utterly alone in her grief. The song resonated within her, its lyrics were like a gentle embrace that spoke directly to her heart. In this moment of vulnerability, Margaret allowed herself to feel deeply. She wept quietly in the third row, unseen by most but profoundly understood by one. It was this blend of love and loss that made Margaret's journey so poignant, a reminder that even in grief, there can be moments of beauty and connection through music. Every year, Margaret and her husband eagerly anticipated the concert season. It had become a cherished tradition, one that symbolized their deep love for each other and their shared passion for music. They would make a day of it, dressing up and treating themselves to dinner at their favorite restaurant before heading to the concert hall. As they walked hand in hand, the laughter and warmth between them made the evening feel magical. Once inside the concert hall, they would settle into their seats, often in the third row, which gave them a perfect view of the stage. The lights dimmed, and Margaret would glance at her husband, his eyes sparkling with excitement. He always teased her about how he could never decide which was better, hearing the music or watching her face light up with joy as each note filled the air. They shared an unspoken connection during these performances. As the orchestra played their favorite songs, they would sway together gently, lost in the moment and in each other. Margaret remembered how her husband would often lean in close, whispering sweet nothings that made her heart flutter. Their love for music was a language all its own, one that deepened their bond over time. These concerts were more than just entertainment, they were a celebration of their life together, a time when worries faded away, replaced by harmony and affection. Now, sitting alone in the same seat they once shared, Margaret felt that absence acutely but also sensed the echoes of joy that filled those special evenings. As the lights dimmed in the concert hall, an air of excitement washed over the audience. The soft murmur of conversation faded, replaced by a palpable sense of anticipation that filled the room. Margaret could feel the buzz around her. Other concertgoers smiled and leaned forward in their seats, eager for the performance to begin. The scent of polished wood and lingering perfume added to the atmosphere, reminding her once again of the many concerts shared with her husband. The stage was elegantly set, with instruments glinting under the soft spotlight. The orchestra members quietly tuned their instruments, producing a symphony of sounds that mixed and blended together in a harmonious whirl. Margaret's heart raced as she took in the familiar sight, feeling a mix of joy and sadness wash over her. It was a place where memories were made, and even though she was alone this time, she could almost hear her husband's enthusiastic laughter ringing in her ears. As the conductor stepped onto the stage, the audience erupted into applause, their appreciation echoing through the hall. Margaret clapped along but felt a twinge of melancholy. Her husband was no longer there to share in this collective joy. She focused on the stage, where musicians prepared for what would be an inspiring performance. The silence grew thick with expectation just before the first notes broke through, pulling everyone into a world of melody and emotion. In that moment, Margaret closed her eyes and let herself be enveloped by the music that had always connected them. As the first few notes of All the Way floated through the concert hall, a wave of familiarity washed over Margaret. The melody wrapped around her like a warm embrace, igniting a flood of memories that both comforted and overwhelmed her. She could almost see her husband's face lighting up as they listened to this very song together, his eyes sparkling with joy. Each lyric echoed the love they had shared, and suddenly, she was transported back to those intimate moments when they swayed together in bliss. Margaret's heart tightened as she remembered the countless times they had danced in their living room, oblivious to the world around them. She could hear his laughter, and see him smiling broadly as he sang along, playfully teasing her for not hitting the high notes just right. Those beautiful memories quickly became bittersweet, as the harsh reality of his absence set in. Tears streamed down her face, each one a testament to the love that still lingered in her heart despite his passing. As Frank sang passionately on stage, it felt as though he was reaching out to her, understanding her sorrow and reflecting the depth of her emotions through his performance. In that moment, Margaret's grief transformed into something beautiful, a reminder that love never truly disappears. It evolves and finds new ways to resonate within us. She felt grateful for the music that connected her past to her present, allowing her to honor the love she had lost while still celebrating the joy it once brought her. As the tender notes of "All the Way" filled the air, Margaret sat in the third row, her heart heavy with emotion. She could no longer hold back her tears as they spilled softly down her cheeks. Each note seemed to reach into the deepest corners of her soul, awakening memories that she cherished but also grieved. In this moment, surrounded by a sea of faces and sounds, Margaret felt entirely alone yet deeply connected to her husband's spirit. Her vulnerability was palpable. She didn't care that others might notice her tears. Instead, she surrendered to the wave of feelings washing over her. Memories played like a slideshow in her mind, her husband's laughter, his comforting embrace, and how he used to sing along with that unmistakable twinkle in his eye. The song's lyrics echoed through her, and carried with them a warmth that both healed and hurt. Margaret's quiet weeping was not just a release of sorrow. It was an expression of love that remained vibrant despite his absence. As she wiped away a tear, she felt gratitude mixed with sadness, knowing that this music honored their time together. Frank, on stage, sensed her emotional turmoil and maintained eye contact throughout the song, making it seem like he was singing solely for her. In that shared moment, however brief, Margaret felt a connection that transcended time and space, reminding her that love could still flourish amidst grief and loss. As the song filled the hall, Frank, the performer on stage, felt a familiar energy sweep over the audience. He often thrived on the connection between his music and those who listened, but tonight was different. When he caught sight of Margaret in the third row, her tears shimmering in the soft light, something inside him shifted. It was as if her sorrow resonated with a deep part of his own heart. He instinctively focused on her, drawn to the vulnerability she displayed. Margaret's quiet weeping conveyed a story that transcended words. It spoke of love lost and memories cherished. Frank could see how deeply she felt each note that floated from his lips. It was almost as if he were singing just for her, his voice carrying her through a journey of nostalgia and bittersweet acceptance. The emotional weight in Margaret's eyes held him captive throughout the song. As he sang the lyrics, he could feel their shared connection grow stronger. It seemed like each word wrapped around her like a comforting embrace. For Frank, this moment elevated his performance beyond mere entertainment. It became a communion of souls where music served as a bridge between two hearts. When the final note resonated through the hall and silence followed, Frank met Margaret's gaze once more. In that brief exchange, he recognized her silent gratitude, and with a slight bow, he acknowledged not just her presence but also the profound bond they had shared in that fleeting time, a reminder of how powerful music can be in creating connections even amidst loss. As Frank continued to perform "All the Way," he found himself deeply immersed in the moment, each note flowing effortlessly from his heart. His soulful voice resonated through the hall, and with every lyric, he felt an invisible thread connecting him to Margaret. He locked eyes with her in the third row, her wet cheeks glistening under the stage lights, and in that gaze, he sensed a profound understanding of their shared experiences. It was as if the entire room faded away. The music and emotion enveloped them both in a bubble of intimacy. Frank poured his soul into each line, intentionally directing his energy toward Margaret, making it feel as though the song was meant solely for her. The nuances of his voice captured longing and tenderness, conveying a message of love that transcended words. As he sang about hope and affection, Frank could see Margaret's expression shift. Tears streamed down her face, yet there was also a hint of gratitude in her eyes, an acknowledgement that their connection was both bittersweet and beautiful. He knew the lyrics had taken on new meaning for her in this moment of vulnerability. Frank leaned into the performance, allowing his emotions to guide him as he continued singing. With each breath he took, he felt their hearts intertwining through the power of music, reminding both of them that even in grief, there could still be profound moments of love and shared understanding. This moment became a tribute not only to lost love but also to the resilience of the human spirit that thrives through music's embrace. As Frank finished singing, "All the Way," the emotional impact of the song lingered in the air, casting a spell over the audience. For Margaret, the music had become a lifeline, a way to channel her grief and reminisce about the beautiful moments shared with her husband. Each note resonated with her heart, bringing forth memories that were both joyous and painful. She experienced a cathartic release, allowing herself to feel the depth of her loss while simultaneously celebrating the love that remained. On stage, Frank felt the weight of the moment as well. His performance was not simply an act, it was a powerful expression of empathy and connection. He could see how deeply Margaret was affected, and it inspired him to pour even more emotion into his final notes. The bond they shared through that song transcended the boundaries of performer and audience member, illustrating how music could unite even strangers in their experiences of sorrow. In that intimate space, surrounded by others who were touched by the performance, Margaret and Frank were linked by an unspoken understanding. The song had created a bridge between their hearts, reminding them both that they were not alone in their grief. As tears fell from Margaret's eyes, they symbolized not just sadness but also healing, a sign that love endures despite loss. The emotional impact of "All the Way" served as a poignant reminder of music's ability to foster connections and provide comfort during life's most challenging moments. As the final notes of "All the Way" lingered in the air, a hush fell over the concert hall, wrapping everyone in a blanket of emotion. Frank's voice trailed off, leaving only the echoes of love and shared memories that resonated in the hearts of the audience. For Margaret, time seemed to stand still as she processed the profound intensity of the moment. The flood of feelings, both joyful and sorrowful, washed over her, and she felt an overwhelming appreciation for Frank's heartfelt performance. After a brief pause that felt like an eternity, Margaret leaned slightly forward in her seat, her eyes never leaving Frank's. In an instinctive gesture of gratitude, she mouthed, "Thank you," her voice lost among the other sounds in the room but conveying more than words could express. It was a simple yet deeply sincere message, capturing the essence of what this moment meant to her, a reminder of love that transcends even death. Seeing her gesture, Frank returned her gaze with a slight bow, understanding the weight of their connection. In that fleeting exchange, they both knew they had shared something special, an acknowledgement of their vulnerabilities and the ways in which music could bridge that gap. As applause began to fill the hall, Margaret felt an undeniable warmth spread through her heart. This experience was not just about loss, it was a celebration of memories that continued to exist. With tears still glistening in her eyes, she realized that moments like these offered hope and healing, enveloping her in a sense of belonging despite her loneliness. Music had gifted her a moment of solace and connection that she would hold on to dearly. As Margaret's heartfelt "thank you" hung in the air, Frank felt a deep sense of understanding blossom between them. Her gratitude was palpable, and he knew that in that moment, his performance transcended mere entertainment. With a slight bow of his head, he acknowledged her silent message, recognizing the emotional journey they had shared throughout the song. This simple gesture was not just a response, it was an affirmation of their connection, a nod to the bond forged through music in the face of sorrow. In that split second, Frank realized how powerful these performances could be, not just for him as an artist, but for those who came to witness them. He saw how important it was to create moments of healing for individuals like Margaret, who carried their own burdens while trying to find solace in melodies. His slight bow symbolized his respect for her pain and his appreciation for her willingness to share such vulnerability with him. The audience erupted into applause as Frank straightened up from his bow, yet for him, the world around them faded momentarily. The cheers became distant sounds, overshadowed by the intimate exchange he had experienced with Margaret. It reminded him that music has a unique ability to connect people across different experiences and emotions. As he took in the energy of the room, he felt invigorated by the knowledge that tonight's performance had left an indelible mark on both their hearts, a testament to love lost and hope regained through shared experiences. In the aftermath of the performance, Margaret sat quietly in her seat, reflecting on the power of shared moments like those she had experienced that evening. The concert, a familiar setting for her, had transformed into a sanctuary of healing, allowing her to process her grief while surrounded by the beauty of music. She realized that even amidst deep sorrow, such experiences could foster connections that offered comfort and understanding. Music has a unique way of stripping away the layers of pretense we often carry in daily life. At that moment, Margaret felt seen and understood by both Frank and the audience around her. Everyone there was tied together through their own stories of love and loss, creating a collective energy that celebrated resilience. It dawned on her how these shared experiences provided solace, not just to her but to everyone touched by the performance. As she let the emotions settle within her, Margaret acknowledged how vital moments like this were in healing. They allowed individuals to open up and confront their grief rather than hide it, offering an opportunity for renewal. In that shared silence following Frank's bow, she understood that while her husband was no longer physically present, his spirit lived on through cherished memories and music that could still evoke deep love. The experience was a reminder that healing is not a solitary journey, it's one woven with threads of community and connection. With newfound hope filling her heart, Margaret felt empowered to embrace the memories of her husband while also looking forward to finding joy in life again through shared moments like these. As Margaret sat in the concert hall, she reflected on the profound impact music has on human connections, especially during times of grief. The evening had shown her that melodies could weave together a tapestry of shared experiences, bridging gaps between individuals who might otherwise feel isolated in their sorrow. In that moment, she realized how music transcends mere entertainment. It becomes a powerful force for healing and understanding. Through Frank's heartfelt performance, Margaret experienced firsthand the ability of music to evoke emotions that words often fail to capture. Each note resonated with not only her memories of love but also with the collective heartbeat of those around her, each person carrying their own stories of loss and hope. This evening served as a reminder that while grief can feel solitary, it is often accompanied by a community of souls experiencing similar pain. The connection forged through shared songs allowed for moments of vulnerability and strength. Margaret found comfort in knowing that others, like Frank, could tap into their emotions and convey messages of resilience through music. It was as if they were all partaking in an unspoken agreement to honor their losses while simultaneously celebrating the beauty of life and love. Leaving the concert hall with a heart full of gratitude and renewed hope, Margaret understood that while her husband was no longer physically present, his memory would always be alive in the songs they cherished together. Music had gifted her not only solace but also a sense of belonging, a reminder that even amid sorrow, hope and resilience can flourish through shared experiences.